right, Chair sees a quorum and calls this edition of the Whitestown Fire Board for June 1st, 2022 to order. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I will do roll call. Jim Baldwin.
Present.
Michelle O'Connor.
Here.
Rob Worrell. Here. Casey Copeland. Absent. Mike Hancock.
Here.
Jeff Wishick.
Here.
All right. Before we approve the, we'll do the agenda. I'll make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion is adopted. In the minutes, just a slight correction on the roll call. Jim Baldwin was the one here, not Mr. Wishick. So with that correction, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second. Amended. Second. Michael, the second.
All right. Second, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion is adopted. Any public requests to speak, Chief?
No.
Any online? All right.
No, sir.
Seeing no presentations, moving to statistics and updates.
Okay, so public education and PR for the month of May. We assisted with a ladder flag detail at the courthouse for the National Police Week event. We attended Old Navy for a safety event that they had going on there, giving out truck tours and handing out information. We also hosted a Boy Scout group and attended Traders Point Field Day. Additional information, we had all our apparatus sent for annual testing, and on that note, I would like to say that there will be some forthcoming information that we're working on with our maintenance budget. We spent a lot of maintenance money this year, keeping everything up to speed and in service, and the hits kind of keep coming. We're not in necessarily dire straits yet, but if something catastrophic were to come up, we'll have to get creative within the budget and such to make that happen. But what we're working on specifically is each apparatus and the problems that we've had with each. Specifically trying to dial in if it's just a point in the apparatus life, or if it's something additional kind of nickeling and diming us and getting worse, and if what steps we need to take on that. So we're going to try and put that together and get a better idea of what exactly is going on. But we have taken a significant hit within our maintenance budget so far this year.
Are you measuring the frequency as well as just any inflationary costs? Like, we might have the same number of repairs going on, but the costs have increased, or
right?
Which
well,
one
these are additional repairs.
Okay.
Now, the cost obviously has gone up.
Right.
You know, like an annual service has definitely gone up.
Right.
Just because of the supplies and things like that. But we've had specific issues that
Gotcha.
that aren't necessarily recurring, that are unique to that time, but they're just not cheap to fix on a fire apparatus.
Okay. Thank you.
Chief, are all of our primary apparatus online and in service?
Yeah, so one of the ones we had some things fixed with our reserve apparatus. It is actually in place of our tower ladder right now, just because our tower ladder is having its turn.
Okay.
So far, so good on that one. Not coming up, but the other two, when they went through, longer than expected, and this problem, to the point where our E1, which is a 2015, had some major issues with the motherboard and the clutch fan causing the motherboard burning up. It took them 3 or 4 days to even figure out what was going on. You know, of course, that adds up to labor, $1,400 part at a minimum, you know, and just the simple things that don't pass testing adds up. So, you know, we're around $5,000 just for the reserve Pierce to do its annual testing, and that includes the pump testing and so on and so forth. But you know, the little things to fix to make sure we're in tip-top shape adds up. So,
okay.
Our reserve ambulance is getting finished up with the vinyl graphics. It went earlier, or actually last week. We completed the lateral firefighter hiring process in the month of May. We started our blood draws for our annual physicals, and we held our annual awards banquet. Moving on to inspection and prevention, up to 234 annual inspections year to date, with 48 happening in May. 8 re-inspections, 49 new building inspections, 3 C of Os, 9 plan reviews, and 4 sprinkler tests. The training and EMS report for this month is a little bit abbreviated. A lot of that is due to January 1st being today, trying to scramble to get all the stats together for the month. But we did have Boone RNC come out and conduct hotline training in the month of May. We did live fire training at the County Training Tower in Lebanon with mutual aid departments. We hosted a fire investigator class for state certification, so we had multiple departments in there. Conducted 3 days of live fire training in the acquired structure on Main Street. A little note on that, we're unable to do the final burn on that right now because we're still waiting for the gas company to remove the gas meter. So when we get to that point, we'll try and advertise it again like we did before, that, hey, stuff's going on here on Main Street. So we did EMS no-notice drills for all the shifts. CPR recertification happened in May, and our monthly audit review training took place as well. For the EMS billing, 11,800 plus for May month-to-date revenue, bringing us to 94.9 for the year, and 13% increase above where we were last year. And kind of piggybacking onto that is the monthly run totals. You see 141 for May, bringing us to 576, which is, my pages weren't stuck together, I believe a 23% increase over where we were at last year. So last month we kind of dropped down to 10% over last year and then picked it right back up this month. So that is all I have. Any questions?
Great. Thank you, Chief. Seeing no unfinished business, we'll move to new business. Item D, certification of executive session. We had an executive session from 6 to 6:15 to talk about the hiring list, adopting the 2022 lateral firefighter hiring list. Do we need to take a vote to certify that?
You can.
Okay.
That the only thing that was discussed was the
Right.
receipt information.
Yeah, so that was the only thing discussed, and I'll make a motion to certify that session.
I'll second.
And motion is second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion is adopted. And then we'll go to item E, the consideration of adopting 2022 lateral firefighter hiring list.
I would like to recommend or request that the board consider approval of the hiring list as presented in the executive session, with the one removal noted.
I will make a motion that we approve that said list.
I've got a motion. Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion is adopted. Going to item F, consideration of purchase exceeding $5,000 EMS narcotics security boxes.
So this year, if you remember back to January, February, whenever our new goals came out, part of our EMS goals were to work with the new laws in the DEA and the state as far as narcotic control. So essentially what has happened, I know just enough to be dangerous with this. Chief Wilkie, the EMS chief, is definitely well-versed in what's going on with this. But the rules have changed, and fire departments are now basically having to certify themselves instead of running it through a hospital as far as narcotic storage. So it's no longer going through your medical direction in the hospital. That way, each department has it. So we will have to purchase and things like that. With that comes higher security, so we make sure we meet the DEA standards. Also, ensure that we limit as little or give ourselves as little liability as possible to be able to track. So he went out and looked over a couple different types of box systems, and this is the one that him and the EMS equipment committee that he has together of our personnel looked at and thought would be the best fit for our apparatus. So these are boxes for the apparatus along with the home box, if you will, that will be in the firehouse for the ultimate storage. So that's what this price is for all of that to make us complete and DEA compliant. Once these are purchased, if approved, we'll be able to move forward and work to get all our certifications through the state and the DEA, whatever the steps we have to go through to get it 100% official.
Questions?
Yes, Chief, my only question is why a quantity of 5?
So that is for the 2 fire apparatus, the 2 ambulances, and then the additional reserve apparatus. So we still have that when we move over into that fire apparatus. We will move our narcotics with it. So it needs to have its ability to have that secured.
So we're putting these on trucks, not just ambulances.
Correct. Because our trucks are ALS, so we carry the narcotics on there as well.
Are these permanently mounted?
What's that?
Or are these portable and they have a locking
They
device?
are mounted into the apparatus, and I'm not exactly sure how the tracking is, but they're
Right,
for
so-
each individual truck that would need it.
So like if a vehicle goes out of service, you'll be able to take it and put it into another vehicle?
I'm not 100% sure on that. That's why they have 5 on here. I think that's because they will be mounted to the truck. Because that if they were portable, you could take it.
Right.
So they will be secured in some fashion. I'm not familiar with the securing mechanism, but they'll be secured to the apparatus where it's not just an easy transfer. And this way, it also helps with the tracking as far as the DEA is concerned.
Yeah, I would just ask the question, hey, what happens if we have a vehicle go out? How hard is it to move it?
Like 100%, like 100% or temporary.
Like to a loaner.
Well, to if you're going to pull a reserve, not all of our reserve vehicles are going to have these, right? Or
I listed all our vehicles that we have as far as reserves. So when we get the
Okay.
new ambulance next year, it will have one as well. So that would be an
okay,
additional
so then this covers all the
1,400.
vehicles.
Correct.
Right. All right.
Anything else? Will of the board? I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase exceeding $5,000 for EMS narcotic security boxes.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those
Aye.
opposed? Motion is adopted. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Other business, so this will be my last meeting with the town fire board. As announced, my family has an opportunity to move out of state, so we're very excited about that. Sad to leave, but very excited about the opportunity. So that'll be effective June 15th, so I'll be with the town council, but last fire board meeting. So I do appreciate everyone on the board that's here and has been on the board and just accepting me and withstanding my silly questions at times. And thank you for the chief and the staff for just supporting the town. It's been great, and I appreciate everybody.
Well, Rob, on behalf of the board, I'd like to thank you for your service
Thank
to the community and to also part of the township since the town does provide fire service.
That's
So on behalf of the board, we want to say thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. With that, do I have a motion?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion second. Any further conversation? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
I need one copy of